Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping by today. Today I'm going to share a message on grief. If you're like me, you've been crippled, maybe stuck, felt like it's hard to move forward. Maybe sometimes you just sit in tears and have a hard time just feeling like yourself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah. I'm an artist, entrepreneur, and best-selling Amazon author. Like I mentioned, today we're going to talk about grief. Grief can come in all kinds of forms and reasons. It's a process that we've been given to work through a loss of some kind or even a change. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a loss in a loved one or a friend that we have. It could be a loss in a job. It could be a loss in our society or country. It could be an illness. Maybe you've known somebody who have gotten really sick with COVID or cancer or some other type of illness like that, and you grieve that loss, or you grieve that change. You can grieve what life used to be like, or what life used to look like, even as you grow older in different stages of your life. So I want to help you realize that grief isn't just about losing a loved one. It's also about changes, and it can even be a happy change. It could be grieving a new job or a new position, something that might be better for you. It's okay to still grieve old processes or old routines that you might have had in that, where maybe you enjoyed visiting with certain coworkers or having a certain routine, and it's okay to grieve that. Today, I want to share a couple techniques that I've used on how I've processed grief. As mentioned, there's a lot of different tools that you can use, and this is some things that I've learned along the way, where if we have unprocessed emotions, it affects our body, soul, and spirit. Our body, soul, and spirit are all connected, and if we don't process these emotions, it can help us feel stuck or unmotivated, or can help us have even some health complications. As you can see here on the screen, grief weakens your lungs. Anger weakens your liver. Worry weakens your stomach. Fear weakens your kidneys. And stress can weaken your heart and brain. You may think back on some family members or friends who may have had heart issues. That can definitely be tied back to stress. Heart issues or brain issues where maybe they've had strokes or heart attacks. And again, that can be linked back to stress. For me personally, I've had suffered with acute asthma and bronchitis, and that's related to the grief that I've experienced in my life. There's been years of stressful situations, and also different things that I've grieved throughout my life, where I've had a lot of loss. My mom and dad have both passed away. I have grieved family members who are estranged. I grieve those relationships deeply, and have grieved even just different friends. And as I've grown through life, different stages in life where things change and move forward. So that's how grief has affected me in my life. I found a lot of tools that have helped me. Today, I'm going to go through a couple of those with you here. So again, here's the different stages of grief that we have. You might recognize some of these that you've heard from different resources. First, we initially have that loss or that change. Then we go into shock or denial, where maybe we just can't believe that it's happened, or we can't believe that somebody has passed away, or this accident occurred, or maybe you had a job loss or something like that. And you just go through this shock and you deny it. Again, our body automatically goes into this routine to protect ourselves and to process it. It's a way to protect ourselves in our mind, in our body, in our spirit. It's a way to protect ourselves so that we don't get harmed too badly. Then we go into an anger stage where you might be really frustrated and just just go through these times where you're in a lot of anger, you get easily upset. And then the next stage is depression and detachment. And then you have this bargaining stage, and you have this dialogue within yourself where it's kind of back and forth where you talk about it. And then you have this acceptance, and you finally heal. Again, throughout the stage, it can have any timeline. I've known people who have grieved and who weren't able to necessarily process this in a healthy way, who have grieved for years and years and years, and they've just gotten stuck. And this is where I want to stress the importance of helping move through this for you, because we have a purpose, and being stuck in that grief isn't helping you, and it's not helping your loved ones. They want to see you get out of that grief cycle. So again, during this stage of grief, you can go through any of these at any time, and even after years down the road, when you felt like you have healed and maybe work through a lot of this grief, where some of this stuff can come up where you just need to process it and accept yourself and just recognize that it's grief, and then feel it and move forward, right? So what happens when you have a lot of loss and you're not able to get back to that healed state? That can look like this, where let's say you have a shock, you have your loss, then you go into the different stages of griefs, and then you have a different loss. Like 2020, for example, we had a lot of different losses. We had a lot of government upheaval. A lot of things were going on. Maybe people got sick, or you had financial burdens, or different things like that. And we just kept spiraling. And this is where a lot of people weren't able to kind of regroup and get back to a healthy state of mind. And this is why it's so important to be able to find ways to process that grief and move past it. This is what I call post-traumatic growth. Up there on the top left corner, this is a painting that I did myself. It's called Grief. And I have turned to art, and I have turned to art as a way to help process that. And this was the hardest painting I've ever painted in my whole entire life, where I would work on it for a couple of days, and I would just have to walk away from it because it was just releasing so much emotion in me, anger even, and just guilt and sorrow and sadness. And so the paintings on the right is a client that I worked through, and she was able to go through my series that I have, where she felt stuck for several years, several decades. And she was able to finally move forward after so many years of processing this grief for herself. So again, there's a lot of different tools that you can use. For me, I've utilized art as a way to heal. There's journaling, there's exercising. I also go to a chiropractor who I've been going to for 10 years, and she specializes in kinesthetic, where she ties in my emotions. She specializes in women and children, and she ties in my emotions to my body and what might be stuck. And I went to her last week and had some unprocessed emotions through the holidays and some different things going on in my family. And she was able to help release that. And right afterwards, I had a lot of emotion. I had a lot of tears, and had to just kind of go on a walk and just kind of process that and drink fluids and different things like that. But I've been able to kind of get accustomed to what that looks like in my life, and utilizing resources like journaling, having friends that you trust, that you can confide in and talk with, who are there to truly love you and be there for you right where you're at, and meet you where you're at and give you that loving support, is so vital. Being able to journal or exercise even, or like I mentioned myself, I've turned to art. I hope that you found a couple tools and techniques. And again, just want to encourage you that be gentle with yourself. It's a process. Everybody grieves. It's an emotion. It's a way that we've been given to heal and to process things. But I encourage, if you feel stuck, if you feel like you're just not yourself, and it's been too long, you know that you've been stuck in grief for too long, I would love to reach out to you and connect with you and help you with maybe even doing some art classes that might be able to help put you through that. Again, I'm not a licensed therapist by any means. I'm not a psychologist, and I do not replace those. But again, I would love to help share some techniques that have helped me process this along the way. Sending you lots of love. Thank you.